Okay, so in this video we're going to look at a couple of the more difficult scenarios in terms of finding the equation of a circle. First of all, when we are given a line that the center exists on. So in this question here, question 2c, the center exists on the line x minus y minus 1 equals 0. We are told the radius is 3 and the point 7,3 is a point on the circle. Now just one thing to bear in mind, if we are given a line that the center exists on, if the center is on the x-axis, remember the center coordinates of a circle are minus g minus f. Any point on the x-axis has a y-coordinate of 0, so in this case where you have a center on the x-axis, f is always going to equal 0. Where we have a center that exists on the y-axis, again remember the center coordinates minus g minus f, the g coordinate will equal 0 because it's the x, or at any point on our y-axis, x is equal to 0, so therefore g is equal to 0 in this scenario. So look out for these two scenarios when they come up in questions. But this one we're looking at, we have a line which the center lies on, the radius is 3, and the point 7,3 exists on the circle. First thing is to write down our general information. So the center point of our circle is minus g minus f. That satisfies the line x minus y minus 1 is equal to 0. So substituting that in, we can look at minus g minus f minus 1 equals 0, which gives us minus g plus f minus 1 equals 0, and rearranging that, we can say, bring the g across the other side, that g is equal to f minus 1. So that's one equation that we can get from our information here. Now, because there are three variables that we need, g, f, and c, we are going to need to use the three separate pieces of information to form three separate equations. Next, using the information that the radius of the circle is 3, remember the radius is the square root of g squared plus f squared minus c. So in this case, we can substitute in the square root of g squared plus f squared minus c is equal to 3. Now we want to get rid of the square root sign, so we'll square both sides, leaving us with g squared plus f squared minus c is equal to 9. And we can actually get rid of one of the variables using our first equation here. We can replace the g with an f minus 1. So f minus 1 to be squared plus f squared minus c is equal to 9. And multiplying it out and tidying it up, we actually get the equation 2f squared minus 2f minus c is equal to 8. So that's a second equation that we get from our information here. The third equation needs to come from the fact that the point 7,3 is on the circle. So remember, if this point is on the circle, then it satisfies the equation of the circle, which is x squared plus y squared plus 2g times by x plus 2f times by y plus c is equal to 0. And tidying up this information here, multiplying it out, we get 14g plus 6f plus c is equal to minus 58. Now again, we can get rid of one of the variables here by replacing the g with an f minus 1. So we have 14 by f minus 1 plus 6f plus c is equal to minus 58, leaving us with the equation 20f plus c is equal to minus 44. So we now have two equations in terms of f and c. Now what we notice here is we have a plus c and a minus c, so if we just add these two equations together, we will get an equation based only in f. So adding this one, we get plus c and minus c will eliminate each other there. We get 2f squared, 20f minus 2f is 18f. That gives us minus 36, and bringing it to the one side, we get plus 36 is equal to 0. So solving this either using factors or the minus b formula, we get f is equal to minus 3 or f is equal to minus 6. So based on that, then we have to go back to one of our equations. So either 20f plus c is equal to minus 44, or 2f squared minus 2f minus c is equal to 8 to find our c value. So in that case, we get, so we have f is equal to minus 3 and f is equal to minus 6. So putting it back into this equation here, 20 times by minus 3 plus c is equal to minus 44, and 20 times by minus 6 plus c is equal to minus 44. So from this scenario here, we get c is equal to 16. And from this scenario, we get c is equal to 76. We now have two of the variables that we need to form our equation of our circle. Last one we need is our g. And remember, g is equal to f minus 1. So that's minus 3 minus 1, which is minus 4. Or g is minus 6 minus 1, which is minus 7. So we have two circles that satisfy our original three conditions: a center on the line x minus 1 minus y minus 1 is equal to 0, a radius of 3, and the point 73 is on the circle. So therefore we can have x squared plus y squared minus 8x minus 6y plus 16 is equal to 0. Or we can have circle 2, x squared plus y squared minus 14x minus 12y plus 76 is equal to 0. So a little bit more complicated in terms of your working out, but we're using all of the information that we know already, substituting points into the general equation of a circle, or radius formula, the fact that the center is minus g minus f.